Hello, AH. Oh, thank you, buddy. That is so sweet of you. You are my favorite nephew. You are. Okay, so I wanted to get to this before it was deleted because I know it's going to be deleted. Let me find it here. I guess Crystal's mad at me. Crystal, you got any questions for me? Come over here and ask me right now. Come on. Come on over here. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. My throat's a little bit messed up from my little rant I had yesterday. So I am not, look. All right. So now you're all remain calm, lives in Indiana. I've never hid the fact that I lived in Indiana. Okay. And I'm going to show you guys this today too. It's about Betty. It's about Betty. But I wanted to show you these comments right here. I don't know if those have become bigger or not. No. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so Crystal came into my chat yesterday and I told her to go home. I flipped her off. She didn't like it. She doesn't like it. So let me read what she wrote. So I didn't care. I mean, I don't want to say I didn't care that she played my content. It was what she played it for. It was really stupid, Crystal. But anyhow, the only thing that upset me about it was because she said I didn't care about summer. Um, so, um, so I left her a comment. I said, delete or copyright coming your way. You ain't using me in your fuck shit. Bottom line, Crystal, that's what I said. She said, let me ask, oh, wait a minute, let me ask, does it look like you give a F after rewatching that? You can't talk to me the way you did, then not expect me to defend myself. I tried to behave. She said benign, but you effed with the wrong one. Ask your buddies. Who do you think are my buddies, Crystal? Crystal, you want to come over here and have a conversation? I'm not going to be mean to you. I'm not. One thing I was never mean to you, Crystal, but you came into my chat. You came into my chat. I didn't come seeking you out. You came into my chat. Now, I think what made you mad was because people were talking about a lawsuit that you got with Linda. Now, let me tell you how I knew about the lawsuit with Linda. Your friend Lips. Okay. That's how I learned about the lawsuit with Linda. And all I said was, hey, Mustang Granny. All I said was, maybe you need to get the paperwork before you guys all start talking about it. That's kind of like common sense, right? If you really think, Crystal, that I give a crap about you and Linda's lawsuit, that ain't got shit to do with me. And just because I don't necessarily agree with everything that you put out, what's the big deal in that? What is the big deal in that? So, for some reason, she thinks I've got all these buddies, right? Oh, she deleted. Oh, no, here it is. So, we got some comments in there. You can lead a horse to water. You can't make them drink even if you hold their head under. I don't watch Crystal. I don't take an interest in what she's saying. Like I said, you came to my chat. I didn't come to yours. I don't care if I said clip it, Crystal. Who gives a shit, Crystal? For real. Glenview Tops, you stay right on over there with Crystal. Don't come back over here. Ain't nobody got anything for you. So Rose says, Indiana, I told you that before. Have I ever hid the fact I live in Indiana? No, I haven't. I haven't hid that fact. I mean, if you want to go looking, there's a fucking picture of my house out there. I mean, come on. So then Glenview tops again. JSB claims there's a creator. What? Creator ring connected. It seems like she would help connect this. She don't give a shit. I don't care about people scamming for fucking money. Okay? That doesn't help Summer at all. Now, so Crystal says, oh, because in my opinion, she works with the woman suing me and many others. She is a distraction to keep the truth from coming out. Really? What truth is that, Crystal? Don't let people destroy your life with your husband. No, I don't want people destroying their life with their husband either. That's not cool. That wouldn't be cool. Okay, wait, because I got to find my reply to her. Crystal, you took it off already? Wow. Aren't you a really intelligent person? Anyhow, this is what I told her. Basically, I don't give a fuck about you and the Linda bullshit. You came to my channel. I didn't ask you to come to mine. Hey, Jamie. You know, Crystal, people have talked about that red truck forever. Why don't you put a picture out of the truck? If you're so adamant that this Linda lady has had the truck, the red truck that law enforcement was looking for, and you're so adamant that that was the truck, why don't you put the picture out of the truck? Or maybe you can go to Don B's channel because he showed a picture of a red truck too. It was actually in a drive-through window, license plate and everything. You can check into that. Okay. Now, let me tell you guys something. Yes, I live in Indiana. Who cares? I'm not the only person that lives in Indiana that's followed the Summer Wells case. What else y'all want to know about me? What else you want to know? You can ask me. I'm not going to lie. What do I got to lie about? I ain't got nothing to lie about. I have not inserted myself into the Summer Wells case. Any information that I thought was relevant to Summer's case, law enforcement will get it. You do, Jamie? Oh, we need to meet up, girl. We need to meet up. I mean, I don't know. And look, just because I live in Indiana, I'd never talk to friend Ziggy. I'm telling you that right now. So, yeah, H does too, Jamie. We could have a party with everybody who lives in Indiana. You know, it's weird to me that they want to act like me living in Indiana is a big deal. But there's another person who lives in Indiana that has inserted themselves in the Summer Wells case. And I'm not talking about Ziggy and Fred at all. Crystal. So maybe you want to check that out a little bit. And as for Linda, there's two different Lindas, right, Crystal? Isn't there two different, two different Crystals? You would know because you know them both, right, Crystal? Hey, Mama Mare, good morning. You know them both, right? It's awful funny, Crystal, that you're the one who seems to know everybody in the Summer Wells case. You know everybody, but yet you attack other people. For what? So, I mean, girl, what the fuck do you want me to say to you? For real. For real. So, here we go. Ask away. Ask away. Mama Bear, I still need to talk to you, lady. I still need to talk to you, lady. For real. A lot of bullshit. I never got involved with the lawsuit. Now, I did let Crystal come over here on my channel and talk about it. And boy, did she talk about it for a long freaking time. Okay. Now, because I didn't want people attacking her, I privatized that. Okay. So don't say that you tried to be respectful coming into my chat, Crystal. You came over here thinking you were going to stir up shit. For real. I mean, I probably know who even called you and said I mentioned it. Nobody was talking about you. I don't need to talk about you, Crystal. I don't. More power to you. But one thing I said in the comment that you deleted, ma'am, quit trying to be a hero in the Summer Wells case and actually give a fuck, okay? You turned this whole situation and made it about you. I never thought it was about you, but maybe it is about you, Crystal. You sure know an awful lot. You have talked to many more people than I have ever even thought about talking about or to in the Summer Wells case, right? Didn't you say that you were the head mafia lady and that your people took Summer? What? What, Crystal? You thought you were going to come into my chat. You thought you were going to what? What? What did you want, Crystal? I'm sitting on a live bitching at people for fucking playing Scammy Sammy behind the scenes using that little girl's name. And you want to come in here. You wanted my undivided fucking attention. That's one thing you will never get, Crystal, except for today. Except for today, okay? So I'm right here. Actually, let me drop the link. You guys can come up, ask me anything you want. And I will tell you, I've not talked to anyone except Lips. Except Lips. Now, the thing about it is, you know, people get mad at people on social media and they hate bomb. You know, they hate bond over shit. It's kind of like really weird that, you know, two people who don't like each other and say hateful shit, talk about, you know, their kid or stupid shit like that. And then all of a sudden they get mad at somebody and they ring, ring, ring. Hey, hey, girl, I know you don't like me. I know you talked about my kid, but yeah, I'm pissed off at so and so right now. Let me give you their address. That girl already knew the address I'm talking about. So grow the fuck up. Grow up. You think it's about you? Oh, yeah. Look, I don't care who wants to go out and investigate the Summer Wells case. There's only one person that I've ever talked to from that area. That was Jody Sue. That was just not long ago. That was just not long ago. So, I mean, la-di-da, la-di-da, la-di-da-da-da-da-da. But guess what? Anything that I ever think is relevant in Summer's case is going to law enforcement. It's not going to YouTubers. It's not. And this is what I'm going to ask people. If you think you have any relevant information on Summer's case, please go to law enforcement. Don't put it out on YouTube. Because what happens is Okay, I'm going to use the red truck as an example. Okay. So Crystal thinks this Linda lady had a red truck and it was the one who took Summer. If you go back to the beginning, they said that they did not, they weren't looking for the red truck, thinking that they were a suspect or person of interest in Summer's case. What they said was a red truck had been seen in the area a couple days prior to Summer going missing, and they would like to question them to see if anybody weird might have been in the area also. But, I kind of think that red truck was kind of like a herring. I think law enforcement was using that to kind of have people doing something, checking into the red truck, just to keep those people off their asses while they were trying to look for the little girl. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to it. Now, as far as Fred and Ziggy, how many times have we caught them in a fucking lie? So, sorry, I'm not that person who's going to go talk to somebody that is a known liar. For what? For what? I have no desire to talk to Fred and Ziggy at all. And like I said on my live yesterday, if I wanted to get in my fucking car and drive to where they live and fucking talk to them, I would do it. Not saying they would answer the door for me. They don't even fucking know who I am. They don't even know me. I don't know Ziggy. The only time I've ever seen Ziggy is the few times I've watched her on a live. Ain't never had a conversation with her behind the scenes. Ain't never talked to Fred. I don't intend to. Those people don't interest me. Maybe I'm kind of weird. Maybe I don't need to talk to any of them. But you say that stuff about me, Crystal, and it's awful funny. And no, Crystal, you are not allowed to use any of my content. None. Just like I don't use yours. You're not allowed to use mine. From today on. How about that? But you're more than welcome to come over here and ask me what you want. Ask me what you want. I've been here for a long time. Ain't nobody came and asked me freaking anything. Back in the beginning, I was sitting in Ziggy's chat through the night for hours. Well, this is the thing. Do I agree that there was a lot of fuck shit going on behind the scenes? Absolutely. I agree with that. But this is the thing. I'm a grown-ass adult. I'll talk to who I want. You want to come up, Mama Bear? Or you just have a question? Go ahead and ask it. Go ahead and ask it. I'll answer anything you want me to. I ain't got nothing to hide. Shit. I'm just like everybody else. I seen that there was a little missing 5-year-old girl. I tried to follow it. I tried to make sense of it. And as of today, I still ain't made sense of the nonsense. Oh, you can have it right now, darling. You can have it right now. But see, this is what happens. I didn't talk about Summer that often. And, let me say this also. I think it's a shame. It's a shame that, from my understanding, everybody's turned against Marlena. Marlena was a hot commodity for everybody, wasn't she? Why is people turning against her now? I don't know. These people turn against each other so freaking quickly. So quickly. It's like, You know, what the fuck? I mean, seriously, where is any of this helping Summer? But no, don't ever think that you are going to, let me find a good one here, Mama. Ever say that Remain Calm doesn't care about Summer. So let's get that straight. I care about Summer. I don't care about you guys' fuck shit, right? We seen it happening. We seen it happening. You know, like I said, I don't know Marlena. I don't. I'm not going to claim to know her. I can look at her as a human being just like I do everybody else. Um, I think one thing that they didn't want to happen was Marlena to have a conversation with me, because I would have asked her some relevant questions. I'm not going to sit here and play games when it comes to a little missing girls case. I've seen it happen for so long now. It's not going to stop. It doesn't matter who comes out, calls people scammers. It doesn't, nothing is going to stop people from doing what they're doing. For sure. For sure. But, this is a thing too that I've seen. These people, they will act like your friend, right? And then when they want you to do something for them, as far as on YouTube, especially if you're a creator, and you do it more so to be helpful for them than the fucking content that the creator may need. Then when something happens, they're really quick to turn on another person. I've seen it happen more than once. And what the fuck do you say about it? What do you say about it? Right? Now, yes, there were inconsistencies in what Marlena said. She changed Summer's favorite color. She did a few other things. But I don't know if Marlena was on the hill that day or not. If Marlena says she wasn't on the hill that day, she wasn't on the hill that day. That means she wasn't at 110 that day. Does that mean she wasn't in the area? I don't know. I wasn't there. And I have to say that over and over and over with people. I was not there. I personally do not know anyone from that area. I don't even know anybody from that state. Well, I take it back. I do know people from that state that I conversed with on the phone, but not from that area. I've never spoken with anybody from the Beach Creek area until I had that conversation with Jody. But y'all didn't like that either. Y'all didn't like that I was having a conversation with Jody. And to prove my fucking point, I haven't even put that back out. Number one, because just like with you, Crystal, when you came over and talked for 3.5 hours about that lawsuit, I didn't want people attacking you over it. I don't know what you said. I ain't even never went back and watched it. I'll have to find it. But why would I want to put something out that's only going to hurt somebody else? I'm not that type. I'm not going to do it. If people were going to take the interview and use it as an educational interview to, perhaps learn something about the area, what was going on in the area, that's a little bit different. But I'm going to tell you something. Some of the things that I have learned that was done to Jody makes me want to throw up. Makes me want to throw up. I'm not going to sit here and say Jody, Andy, Fred Hill, Don and Candace, whoever you want to put in with that. I'm not the person that's going to sit here and say that they're guilty of anything. I wasn't there. I don't know these people. Now, are they my kind of people that I would want to hang around with? Absolutely not. Not my cup of tea. Bottom line. Bottom line. Yeah, they do hate Bond. You're for real. For real. Well, I mean, fucking people are crazy. Hey, at the end of the day, freaking people are crazy. Hang on, I've got to get my cup of coffee. Hang on. Give me just 1 second, guys. I got to get a bottle of water for my coffee. Okay, sorry. But I'm right here. You guys can ask me anything you want about Summer's case, who I know, what I've talked to him about. Ask me, I'll tell you. Oh my goodness. Are you going through that too? Yeah, but sometimes they do it because it's content. It's content for them. But now people are going to say, oh, remain calm. You know, the only reason she's talking about it because Crystal got her goat. Crystal didn't get my goat. I feel bad for Crystal. I really do. But then the thing about it is, says, do you know the Muffin? Yes, I do know the Muffin Man. Do you know the Muffin Man? Um, the thing about it, like I said, I mean, common sense is going to tell people if you do know anything about Summer's case, get a hold of law enforcement. But when you continuously call law enforcement and you really don't have any facts to back it up, they think you're a little cuckoo, right? Well, this is what I've said about Crystal, and you guys can believe this or not. I think there's a lot of people in Crystal's ears, and I think they're telling her a lot of things that, there's maybe she can't connect. Um, you know, I personally don't want to be Summer's hero. I'm not here to play hero to find out what happened to a little missing girl at all. So, you know, when somebody wants to run out here and remain calm lives in Indiana, uh I've never hid the fact that I live in Indiana. So what? What do you want to know about Indiana? What do you want to know about it? Everything that I've said about it before? I don't know what happened to Summer. I wish I did. But if I did, I would be contacting law enforcement, is who I would be contacting. Uh, hold on a minute. There's a Facebook. Oh, shit. I'll bring them back. I'll bring the butterflies back, Mama Bear, I promise. It was interesting. Hold on, I gotta find it. Shit, I just had that pulled up about. Oh no, I've still got the court interview with about Bullhorn Betty. I want to show that too.
Hello, Moto.
Hold on. That's a weird number. Not a scam caller, I hope. I hate those automated calls. They suck. Let me see if I can find this, because Lisa K posted something, which is really, I don't know who this person is, so, okay, hold on a minute. But maybe this is the person you need to talk to, Crystal. Hold on. Because I don't know who this person is, because I don't follow people in the Summer Wells case. Last night on PG asked Marlena if Candace could see who was driving in on Ben Hill. Marlena said only you see someone entering the road, but Candace could tell who it was. Okay. They're talking about Dobbs. You know, a lot of these people aren't alive or don't live in the area anymore. But let me find, because Lisa posted something. Where's it at, Lisa? Damn, now I can't find it. That really sucks. Someone was saying they knew exactly what happened to Summer. Damn, Lisa, now I can't find it. I don't know what it was on. Shit, fire, and save matches. Okay. Alrighty, mighty poppy girl. Now, I quit talking about Summer. I started talking about other cases. I am going to get back into that because even though I want Summer found so bad, there's nothing that I've ever come across that tells me what happened to her. If it did, law enforcement would know it. Jimmy Long. Who the hell is Jimmy Long? Is that a new cast in the character list? Jimmy Long. Never heard of him. Never heard of him. But, I mean, you know, Marlena, I don't even know what to say about Marlena. For real. She'll start her own channel. Oh, newbie to everybody that didn't go behind the scenes or live there. Oh, he's an allegedly drunk old dude. Well, there was a few of those, wasn't there? Does he have a YouTube? Where did his name come out? That's what I want to know. Not that I care, because I don't give a shit what Jimmy Long says either. Oh, okay. Well, now Marlena can start her channel and talk about Jimmy Long. There's your intro into the YouTube world, Marlena. But don't think that everybody's going to love you, okay? Look at me. I'm the most hated woman on YouTube right now, I think. For sure. For sure. But nope. If I was going to talk to somebody behind the scenes, it sure wouldn't be to talk to a lady who's got a lawsuit on Crystal. Who's fucking got time for that? For real. Not me. But no, I've never seen a red truck around here. I live in Indiana. I've never seen a red truck around here like that, to be honest. Now, when law enforcement came out and asked about a red truck, right? There was 1,000 of them in Beach Creek. Why don't you check into those? Look, I don't care if you want to say whatever you want to say about Linda, okay? I'm not Linda Protector. I'm not Crystal Protector. I'm not Lips Protector. I'm not nobody's protector, okay? Jesus. Okay, good. You already knew you were a scammer, so you hung up. Thank you. Didn't even have to answer that. Even though Diamonds would have loved that, because she likes when I get scam calls, because I mess with them so much. So what else? What does anybody want to know what I know about the Summer Wells case? If I know the answer to it, I will answer it. It's probably not going to be what you want to hear, because that's the problem too. Anybody that comes and talks about Summer's case and the facts of it, people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear what the facts are, because we don't know the facts. We do not know the facts. And I've said this from the get-go. I will say it again. I truly believe when Candace went and asked those boys to keep an eye on Summer, she left that hill. She left that hill. I don't know, I want to believe she is. I want to believe Summer's still alive. But if you listen to what Marlena said, she was like, Summer needs a place where people can put flowers and all this other stuff. So that says that Marlena, what, believes Summer's not alive? I don't know. I cannot answer those questions for Marlena. I can't. I can't answer any of the questions for anybody that was up there that day or from that area. And, you know, people do have regular conversations on the phone. Automatically, because I had a rapport with Lips, people think that we talked about Summer's case, but we didn't. We both had real life shit going on. I will never come out and say what Lips has ever said to me. I will never come out and say what any of them has ever said to me. Because guess what? It's called hearsay. It's called hearsay. And if I thought that somebody said to me something that was relevant in Summer's case, number one, if they hadn't turned it into the TBI, I would. And guess what? It wouldn't be put out here for YouTube's consumption. Okay? That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you want to know my address, email me. I'll give it to you. I'm not going to put it out here because of people like Crystal. I mean, for sure. Shit, I should have gave her my address yesterday. She could have sent somebody out here to light my pilot light instead of me freezing my ass off. But that got taken care of. So, very sad, right? Very sad. But the truth of the matter is, all those people will turn on you when they get mad at you. When they get mad at you for something, and a lot of times it's something that they've done. They just can't take accountability for their own bullshit. Then it's, oh my God, let's put their name out here. Like I said, Crystal, my picture of my house has been out there for 2 fucking years. Right? I got it, Jenny. My son came home for lunch and took care of it, so I wasn't freezing my ass off. But why? I'm right here. You got any questions you want from me? I'm right here. For sure. I ain't got nothing to lie about. Hell, you're more inserted in Summer's case than I ever thought about being. For sure. I don't know why you and whatever Linda you're talking about got into a big fucking fight. For sure. Don't have a clue. Don't have a clue how all that shit started. Maybe I should go back and watch the 3.5 hour live. See if I can make sense of the nonsense. But what do we know? Somebody enlighten, remain calm. What do we know to be factual information about Summer's case? Now, I'm not saying these people who come out and talked about the environment in Beach Creek or what was going on the hill. I'm not going to sit and say these people are lying, because guess what? I don't know them. I don't know them. I never went to Beach Creek, didn't go to frickin' Tennessee, period. I probably ain't been to Tennessee in 30 fucking years. I know me and my husband went there for our honeymoon. Went and hung out, went to an Indian reservation, up in the mountains, and bought me a pair of moccasins and, that kind of thing. What do you want to know? What do you want to know that you think I fucking know? If I know it, I will tell you I know it. How about that? Now's the time. Because this is the last time I'm playing little bullshit. For real. Because I'm not a hero. And I'm not going to be a hero in any missing child case. Because if you're doing it to be a hero, you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. If you're doing it for someone to say to you, oh my God, you did it, you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. It's got to be about Summer. I'm not going to sit up here and say I know what the boys said. I can't do that. And it is sad, because if the boys ever do come out on social media, and especially YouTube, and put their sister's name in, there's going to be very few channels that they can say that's a part of my sister's story. Only the boys know the answers. But I truly believe that Candace told the boys to keep an eye on their sister because she left the hill. I truly believe that Summer went missing way before 6/23, way before that first phone call. Don Wells, he ain't come out and talked about where he went to lunch that day, has he? He came out and told us what happened that morning when he got up, right? I've got a timeline, and I've said it before many times. Many times. Let me see if I can find it. I mean, on this channel, as far as summer's concerned, we talked about a thing called emotional, trigger warning, incest. There's a thing, it's called emotional incest. I've talked about that before. I've talked about the SDA church before. I've talked about one of the deacons that were looked into. I guess he was considered a deacon in the Summer Wells case from the SDA church. Are people going back and really listening to that? Are they? This is the thing. I'm pulling up the timeline I have. Okay. Now, are there things I can add to that timeline now that Marlene has come out? Absolutely. This is what I was told about the 4:30 phone call with Marlena, that it was to a friend, that she was talking to a friend. But isn't there like 2 or 3 Lindas involved? Isn't there like 23 freaking everybody's got the same fucking name? For sure. I'm looking for it. Hold on, y'all. I will find it. I've went over this before. You can go back to Jody Sue channel and look at the text messages that she put out from that day with Andy. You can go back and question that all you want. I have Chris McDonough's interview with Don. Don talks more about himself than he does anything else. Don did say there was a vehicle that was going down the road. I don't know why law enforcement would tell him that. Did Don see the vehicle himself? I don't know. Don saying that he talked to Candace all the way home, he contradicted that within a short period of time, and said that the reason he went to the shed first was because Candace hadn't called him back and said that Summer had been found yet. Now, look, could Candace have been and still kind of keeping it under wraps that she actually left the hill prior to the 6:23 phone call? She could be. I don't know. I'm not them. I don't know. Hold on. I'm still looking. Right here. I've got the unmasked interview with Candace right here, too. I transcribed it, but it's not out there anymore. Did she tell us anything in that? Not really. I mean, nothing that piqued my interest. Okay. I want to know, too, if you guys remember right, when Candace and Dawn did the WJHL interview, they didn't even know anything about a red truck, right? That's what they said, right? That's what they said. Well, the one thing we got to say too, there are good people that live it. Not everybody in Beach Creek are bad characters. I mean, for sure. Hold on, I'm still looking. You guys, I've got so many fucking notes on this. I really do. You wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. I mean, you want to talk about money that was mentioned? First it was what, 80,000, then it was all this freaking money, and that absolutely Don admitting he's got a problem with the Coca-Cola. Everybody immediately went to, did Don owe somebody money? Could Don have owed somebody money? Absolutely. Absolutely. Hold on, I'm going to, these are the Dudley phone calls. These are the Dudley phone calls. Okay. Now, if you want to talk about the interview that Chris McDonough had with Hunter, okay. If you guys remember right, Don got pissed off about all that, said that that Hunter was sending Candace inappropriate material through text and social media. But he never said what role Candace played in that, right? So, at first Don was like, well, yeah, I treated him like a son because he didn't have a good dad, or whatever. That went from, hey, I'm going to be a daddy figure, to, oh, wait a minute, you were trying to send shit to my wife. Make that make sense. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. No, ma'am, it doesn't. Come on, timeline. I know you're freaking in here. I mean, they showed us a bunch of DV. There's Don Sherfy Sr. That was the Don Sherfy Sr. stuff was freaking weird to me. That shit was weird to me. I've got a Jody Sue interview right here. Maybe it's out, maybe it's not. Like Jody said, her and Candace hadn't even been fighting. She said her and Candace has never had a fight. So, who knows? We had Lawson coming out and saying there wasn't any drug activity in the area, right? But was there? Was there? We don't know. I mean, look at Fred, right? Hold on, I'm just getting through the Benny Keys, Tim Mullins call. And Don got that phone call. He said he thought at 5:30, right? He said at 5:30. Do you believe that? If you believe that, that changes a little bit of the timeline, right? Changes a lot of the timeline. So what do you do with that? What do you do with that? Let me get through this, because these are my writings and I've started putting them all together. So you guys just got to bear with me a minute. These are what I have in my computer. These aren't my notebooks. This was with Josh at the lab. Josh asking if more happened than what Don and Candace have told. His reply was, if I knew anything about what happened to my daughter, I would be all over it, and she would be home. That's what Don said in an interview with Josh. But nobody was looking for a lot. I never felt one way or the other about Jody. For real. For real. I never felt one way or the other about Jody. My channel wasn't one of those who, followed every word she was saying and trying to debunk it, because you know what? I didn't live there. Who am I to call anybody a freaking liar? I'm not anybody to do that. For sure. I would rather have, this is a conversation Ziggy had with Don back in 2021. That's pretty interesting. I have no desire to talk to Ziggy and Fred. They are not fucking celebrities in the Summer Wells case. They are not. I mean, you guys have made them celebrities, not fucking me. I don't care. Oh, damn it. I gotta give my arm a rest. Oh. Ah, hold on. Hold on. Damn it. Dang it. Dang it. Gonna get a rope and hang it. I'm not that person. I'm not that person who's gonna come on here and accuse people I don't know of shit. I'm not gonna do that. I don't know. Okay, wait, that's my writing there. I should just start, I guess I should just start reading my writings. But I've done it so many times. I've done it so many times. One thing I did say a long time ago, that if Summer was taken or sold by traffickers per se, trigger warning, this is my writing. What I fear most is the amount of hype the case is getting that could be putting Summer Moon Utah Wells's life at risk. But nobody ever thinks about that, right? It's become less about this little girl and more about getting back at each other for getting mad at each other or shit like that, or somebody from the area says something and then the other person's got to come out, that's not true. Hey, I'm live, I'll call you right back. All right, bye. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm not that freaking person. But do you guys not understand that? Some of what you guys put out online could be very damaging, not only to Summer, but to other people in the area, for sure. I don't know, in today's, I'm not talking about Candace. Yes, I have seen that movie, Poppy. Crazy. I have seen that movie. We've had Candace the aggressor, Dawn the aggressor. All right, I think I got, is this it? No, that's not it. Dawn did say that he woke up about 6:30, 7 o'clock that morning. He also said that he and Candace both had positive drug screens for Coca-Cola. No, wait. That could be wrong. These are just notes I have. Okay, I take that back. Somebody said that, but Don did say something about the lie detector. I don't know if he said they passed or not. All I remember with Don and the lie detector that made a difference to me is when he said he took the paperwork. And why of all things, let me ask you guys this. You ever thought about this? Why, Debbie Nelson, why, hey, Karen with the C, of all things would Don have on him when he went to jail? Anybody got an answer for that? Tim Mullins took his phone, right? He had his phone with him. Tim Mullins took the phone, right? Why, of all things, would Don Wells say that he had, like Fred did, like they showed Fred in the lie detector test, right? Right? Don had paperwork also showing his questions and results on that lie detector test. But yet, Don says, I took it to the jail with me, and then, it disappeared. And I could get a copy of it and show you guys, but what good would it do anyway? I was like, show me the lie detector test, Don. Show me the questions they asked you. Show me. Did you pass? Was it inconclusive? Inquiring minds want to know. But you know what? Nobody gives a shit about that, right? No, nobody cares about that. No, no. I think everybody moved on from that because of all the distractions, right? I don't know. That's what I'm just saying. Let's say I got a lot of questions. But the thing about it is, there's no one that I can ask those questions to and get the truth. And get the truth. It doesn't matter how much you come out on social media and try to discredit these people, that what they're saying makes no sense. It doesn't matter. Tim Mullins is of a lot of fucking interest to me. That is one person I've never really come out and talked about, right? Anybody familiar with my channel? You ever heard me do a whole little spiel on Tim Mullins? What I say about Tim Mullins is, this ain't necessarily about Tim Mullins. This is just something I would love for my class to remember, okay? Sometimes weird fucks who do weird shit get close to family, right? Because what happens when these people can get close to that family? They know what law enforcement's saying. They know what's being talked about behind the scenes. They know it all, don't they? Huh. Well, gosh, Remind, we just ain't never thought about it like that. Why don't you think about it like that? Why not? Why not? People discredit Tim Mullins as a fucking weirdo. Now, let's go through this. We'll add what we need to add. Don, okay, no, wait, that's not it either. Don Wells goes to lunch, right? He goes to breakfast, and then he'll leave during the day to go to lunch. Interesting, right? Did you leave to go to lunch? Maybe, what time was that, Dawn? Was your daily routine maybe 3:30? You might take, what, 35 minutes maybe? I don't know. I'm just asking, Dawn. If the phone call was at 5:30, and this is a weird question, what actual time, if you're working for a contractor and you're a subcontractor, don't they, have you maybe leave the houses at a certain time? But no, I did hear that you kind of stayed late in a couple places to whatever. So I don't know. You can take that wherever you want. You can do whatever you want. What else? What else? 5:30 phone call, right? 911 call was at 6:23. That was saying the father called in. We don't know who else called in. We don't know if Candace called in herself or not, right? Because law enforcement ain't come out and said. Law enforcement has not released the actual calls. They've only released the dispatch call. That's it, right? So you got your 1,000 YouTubers going up on Beach Creek, and they're finding different ways that Dawn could have gotten home within a short period of time. But if you got the call at 5:30, Dawn, you threw your shit in the truck. You said you sped home. it seems to me like you're 120 mile an hour driving home. You know, you're saying you made it in what, 20, 25 minutes or so. That changes the timeline for you, right, Don? Right? If you look at a 5:30 phone call, you threw your shit in the truck, right? Then why'd it take you over an hour to get home? Huh? Well, there's a conversation that Benny Keys had with Tim Mullins. Benny explained that to Tim Mullins. There's like a 2-hour discrepancy there. And you know what Tim Mullins said? Which, Tim, I think I am going to come out and talk about you. I think it's time Remain Calm really talks about you, sir. For sure. Because Tim Mullins says to Benny something along the lines of, oh, well, just let it play out. What did that mean? What did that mean? Now, I'll tell you all again the reason I don't talk to nobody about Summer's case. Don't say a whole lot about it. Have people tell me things. Do I repeat it? No. Because it's hearsay. It's called hearsay, everybody. Heareth them say it. Right? Okay, so let's see. I got about that. And this was weird too. The conversation allegedly between Dawn and Candace, right? When they're at the Walgreens, I believe it was, where there's talk about, let me see, I got it here on my note. Don said he called Candace at when she was at Walgreens, and he decided that he was gonna stay and work because she wasn't there. Now that's interesting, right? Anybody ever think of that? Anybody ever think of that conversation? He said Candace wasn't home, so I thought I would stay at work. But he knew the boys were home, right? He knew the boys were there, right? Kind of weird. That was kind of weird. But nobody thought about that, right? Nobody thought about that. This is a call from Bullhorn Betty and Dawn. December 8th, I think it was, 2021. You know, Dawn, I love my kids. Yeah, Dawn, we seen how much you love your kids, okay? The reasons that you signed your boys over didn't make any sense. Why didn't you fight harder for them? You acted like you cared about them when you said that you had CPS taken because it was dangerous on the hill. I mean, I'm not going to say it wasn't dangerous on the hill. You guys did have a lot of weird fucks coming up there, okay? You did, for sure. Damn, I'm still looking. I am still looking. Don't forget, Summer was starting school. A lot of people thought that was a big problem and would have been if she would have went to school and said possibly what was going on the hill. For sure. We know CPS was involved. I heard it was more than once that CPS was involved. I'm not going to sit here and say Dawn and Candace are guilty of anything. I can't. Let's see. Oh my God, I found it. Give me 1 second and I'm going to read it to you guys, okay? Hang on 1 minute. Now, I'll say this before I get started. The conversation that I had with Jody, she kind of filled in a little bit around certain times, but that's not out yet. So um, we'll leave that where it's at. Okay. Now, this is just my writing, okay? My writing. And no, please don't nobody use it. Ask my permission first. I worked really hard on what I have so far on this stuff. This chapter started out, I haven't even finished it, beginning of the script. Trying to figure out what really happened that day is difficult to say the least. Candace and Don Wells have a story to tell, but mostly try to stay on script and downplay their outrageous behaviors. Don seeming to take the lead on interviews. Tell me if I'm wrong in this. Don seeming to take the lead on interviews. Grandma Candace only speaking recently. That was her only WJHL interview. Having left 110 Ben Hill Road rather quickly after Summer went missing. Now, from what they say, Grandma already had a prior commitment to another family member that had some kind of surgery or what. Wonder if the what? Oh, the school. Now, I did hear that, but that's hearsay, and I ain't never come out and talked about it before. Okay? Now, Marlena said that Don told the boy, one of the boys, that he would, knock him into next Sunday if he said anything to the school or something. Marlena said that herself. Now, I'm going to add this in here. One thing I'm going to say to Marlena. I don't care if you start your own channel, girl. Let me know. I'll drop your link, right? Don was under the impression at first the boys were with Candace. Do you think that's why she told the kids to be quiet in the truck? Wasn't it stated that when Don called Candace, that she told everybody in the truck to be quiet? Am I wrong? Go back and look at the interview with Hunter, with Chris McDonough. That's exactly what he said. Why? Why did Candace tell everybody in the truck to be quiet when Don called? Like Chris said, Don was under the impression at first the boys were with Candace. Good possibility there. Thank you, Kirst. All right. Past tense is used frequently by the Wells, saying it's just a slip up, always apologizing and correcting themselves as if they knew each word is being scrutinized. Am I wrong? No. Ding, ding, ding. Think I got that right. We put together what we can to learn, to theorize what could have happened that day. That's what we do, right? That's what we should be doing. We should be coming together. I stated we put together what we can to learn. That's not what's been happening in this little baby's case. Not at all. We're not going and we're not coming together to try to make sense. And you know why? Because a lot of y'all want to be the hero. You want to be the hero. I'm just saying, that's what I see. Trying to pinpoint a timeline that changes frequently with so many involved saying they don't keep track of time. Am I wrong? No. Most interviews that they do is to discredit what others are saying. Lord have mercy, we've had 4 years of that shit, right? It don't matter what anybody says. No, we didn't see that, Debbie. We didn't see anything but the what was it, 309, when that was stated that they took the video of Summer, right? Everyone contradicting the all-American family scenario they laid out for all to see. Do I need to explain that? Do y'all know what I mean when everyone's contradicting the all-American family scenario they tried to make us all see? I don't think I need to explain that. That's self-explanatory. Don and Candace thought we should believe only them. Most interviewers had a motive for asking the hard questions. Do you know what I mean by that? They had a motive for asking the wrong questions. Or the tough questions, however I worded that. Don and Candace would become angry when they felt it wasn't going the way they wanted, trying to convince anyone who would listen that if they would just become their friend, then they could convince you of their innocence. Am I wrong about that? If I'm wrong about anything, come in here and tell me I'm wrong and show me where I'm wrong. That's all I've ever asked people to do. That's all I've ever asked people to do. If you put something down in my chat as fact, please tell me where you find it. That's all I ask. But how's that worked out? Not real well. Bringing to light lies and deception and dysfunctionality that one could only imagine, running so deep it leaves a person confused to the truth. Do I need to say that again? Tell me I'm wrong. Somebody tell me I'm freaking wrong. That's exactly what happened, right? Everybody brought forth all the lies and the deception bullshit and all this dysfunctionality. It left us confused to the truth. Absolutely, Cursed. You are absolutely right. Let me start pinning what you're saying. Yes. David Dodson said, and I've got that interview somewhere. It's titled that way, Unmasked Talks to David Dodson. It's somewhere in one of my lives. I don't do videos. I only have done lives. Okay? Well, Don's a narcissist, Mishu. Bottom line, Don Wells is a narcissist. I mean, shit, I figured that out the first time I heard him talk, because all he wanted to talk about was him. Okay, wait a minute. Who do you believe next to Summer in the back seat? What? Can I ask you guys a question about that? And I'm not trying to sound like a bitch. No, I get where you think that's important. Asking who exactly might have been in the truck that day, right? The day the picture was taken, there wasn't nobody in the back seat with her. For sure. All involved seem not to want to tell the truth, because to do so would be to tell on themselves. How many times have I said that? I ain't never changed the way I feel about that. People are lying because, if they were doing nefarious shit throughout that time, guess what? They don't want to tell on themselves, even if it meant something that might help find Summer, because that's the way they are. They only think about themselves. That's it. They only care about themselves. Okay, I just read that. All right. Tuesday, June 15, 2021 seemed to start out as what the Wells said, a normal day. For Don Wells, he said he woke up early, about 6:30, 7 o'clock, with Summer beside him. Her little foot was tucked under him, causing him an ache in his back. Yeah, I always thought it was Grandma too. That Candace said it was even Grandma. For sure. I don't think, this is just my opinion, I don't think anything happened to Summer while she was in that vehicle. I believe what happened to Summer was right after they got home. Right after they got home. I truly believe she told the boys to keep an eye on Summer because she left the hill. Now, she doesn't want to admit that. Why wouldn't she want to admit that at first? Because guess what? It made her look like people would have took that as it made her look like a bad mother. What difference did it make, though? No matter how much Dawn and Grandma and Candace tried to say she was a helicopter mom, she was a wonderful mother, we tended not to believe that, only because of what happened with her previously in her years with 2 other children that she had that were taken from her, right? Right? Plus, what everybody else was saying. What everybody else was saying. So, no. Personally, if something happened with Summer while she was in that vehicle, my opinion, her daddy's name is all over it. Her daddy's name is all over it. The only timeline as far as her being in the vehicle that we can start with is that 609 video. Oh, no. Was it 609? No, I'm sorry. 3 o'clock, you guys. Give me 1 second, you guys. Give me 1 second. Well, I see what you're saying, Mishu. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I don't know. I wasn't there. All I can do is tell you guys things that have come out of Dawn and Candace's mouth, came out of Hunter's mouth, came out of, different people's mouths. I've not gone into this deep examination on a lot of these people that are being named. Are they relevant to Summer's case? I don't know. I try only to go by what was said in the beginning. In the beginning. Y'all are fighting for what? Marlena comes on. She wants to start a channel. She's all defensive. Oh, you called me an addict. Don't fucking worry about that, Marlena. It's about Summer, right? It's about Summer. I've got a question for you. What type of substances was going on up at 110 Ben Hill Road when you were hanging out there? What type of substances were they partaking of throughout that time period? That's a good question, right? I don't know if anybody asked her that. I don't watch these people. I don't watch Ziggy and Fred. I don't watch Prayer Garden. I don't watch none of them people. I don't tell you guys not to watch them. Go watch them if you want. I mean, shit, it's pretty entertaining sometimes. I completely get it. We don't know if they did or didn't cursed. Do we know? Because Don Wells said they went through his truck 10 times. He said he got tired of putting stuff back in his truck. But we have to remember, too, these people were messed up in a lot of different stuff, you guys. A lot of different stuff. Who's to say that their house wasn't being searched 10 times because law enforcement, maybe they found out something nefarious that was going on that, did it have something to do with Summer? I don't know. Maybe not. How do we know that? Just like with Hunter's phone that Hunter said he didn't get back. Do you really think? There was a big accusation. Marlena was accused of SAO. No. I'm going to say this, and I'm not trying to hide anything from anybody. It's just that some things don't have anything to do with Summer. I received some information along the lines of Marlena and her daughter. Thank you for not saying her name cursed. Thank you. And there's no reason for me to talk about it because it has nothing to do with Summer. It has nothing to do with Summer. Now, Marlena said some interesting stuff. She kind of told us what kind of children traffickers liked, down to the color of their hair and their eyes. And she also said that Summer wouldn't go with a stranger, but Summer would go with her. Those kind of piqued my interest, right? For sure. Oh, absolutely. I mean, what connects that with Summer, cursed? I'm curious. That Marlena could have been up there on the hill. I don't know. So you guys don't run with this. This is just Remain Calm's thoughts. Okay? If that transpired, and if it didn't, that's a horrible thing to accuse somebody of. And if I was told that, if I had been told that, I would have never, I don't want Marlena over here. Even the accusation of having done anything to a child, nope. Bye-bye. Bye freaking bye. No, ma'am. Hey, blessed Mimi. So, Well, we've already talked about Marlena's ex. Marlena's around some shady ass people, y'all. She's around some shady people. But, you know, so could that mean, if that be true, was she up there? This is just a question. Was she up there when the alleged sedatives were given to the kids up there to sedate them to have horrible things done to them? I mean, look at how she's talking about the Wells, but they were okay enough for her to leave her daughter up there, right? Marlena knows more. Absolutely, she knows more. But let her start her channel and you guys can listen to it, see if any of it makes any sense to you. Okay, let me find out where I'm at. All right, Don said he got up between 6:30 and 7. Summer's foot was under his back. It gave him a backache. Narcissist much. He kind of covered her up a little bit without waking her and left the house anywhere from 7 to 8. You guys got that. Now, Remain Calm says, I'm interested in what happened throughout the whole day. I don't want to know. I don't want to know about 6:23 on. I want to know about the whole day. So, when you got up around 6:30, possibly not leaving the house till 8 o'clock, right? You said from 7 to 8. 45 minutes to Jonesboro, right? But you stopped for breakfast. And you can't say what time you got to work. Now, this is the thing, okay? Candace and Grandma allegedly made it to the hospital by 8 o'clock. It took what? 25 minutes, right? 25 minutes or so that Candace had to get there. So that would have put Candace as leaving the hill at what time? So you kind of put yourself there when Candace left, which kind of put you there when Summer was out of bed, right? I wasn't looking for Fred till now. I was just correcting misinfo, but now finding out who he associates with other things he's done, cover-ups. He's on my list too, cursed. Tim Mullins, Fred Hill, Don Wells. I can't say that Candace is guilty or innocent, but I think Candace made some really bad choices that day. I think she made some really bad choices that ended up with Summer missing. And that's sad. That's sad. Now, you guys can feel the way you do or whatever. But I really do. And because one thing that stands out to me very clearly is Don Wells. I knew something was going to happen to Summer under Candace's watch. He repeated that more than one time. Right? And so Don knew things about Candace that we'll never know. They're not going to talk about each other. I believe so too, Cursed, but I also believe that not everybody knows exactly what transpired. Not everybody knows exactly what transpired. I agree with Jody when she said it was a perfect storm. It was just things connecting. Things just connected for whatever happened all at once. And could somebody have been watching Summer for a long time? Just happened to be driving in the holler and there's little Summer Wells, right? Her brothers aren't down there with her. Her brothers aren't down there with her. You know, Laura said something that piqued my interest. Laura made a comment that Summer would come over to their property to play with her grandkids or something, right? But then she said, but if the boys ever came, Dawn was with them. Make that make sense. So was Candace allowing Summer to go hang out over there to play with the kids? Kind of weird, right? Because what would that do? Summer would never leave with a stranger. Was Fred a stranger? Was Laura a stranger? Was Marlena a stranger? Was anybody who come up to 110 Ben Hill Road a stranger? Would they have been a stranger to Summer? Fred admitted to going to the West Side Inn that day, but his story leading up to the hotel's missing time slots. Huh. And then you got Fred acting like he's the big kahuna that can what? Take someone who is having a problem with a substance dealer and Fred's going to be the mediator? That's what he said. That's what he said. There are good people in Beach Creek. Well, I mean, at the time, Marlena needed some help, right? Marlena needed some help. Yeah, Summer would have been awake when he left. Angie Live, thank you. Summer would have been awake when Candace left that hill. If Dawn left between 7 and 8 and it took 25 minutes or whatever to get to the hospital, drop Grandma off, there's a 2-hour window in there. There's a 2-hour window right there. Candace just sat in the truck for 2 hours before allegedly whatever, Hunter called her, she called Hunter, right? Yeah, Debbie, I agree. I agree. They didn't hang out with the Wells, but they can sure tell you stories about what went on at 110 Ben Hill, right? I never hung out with them. Oh, but I seen this and I seen that. And the thing about it is, what you want to watch out for is I heard. Anyone that tells you that they heard something, you might just put it in your back pocket. That's all I'm saying. It's hearsay. It's hearsay. So, okay, that's kind of weird, right? Why would he not just say Summer got up, they left for the hospital, you know, I seen her or whatever. He says he tucked her in, tucked a little blanket in her, right? So about 8, 45 minutes, Jonesboro. He eats breakfast. Don't know what time he got there. Was there any communication between Don Wells and Candace Wells after she left to go to the hospital? Oh, he did. That's interesting, Kirst. I mean, there were people, and this is hearsay, that said that there is an area up there around that property that possibly things were happening to children in. But then that makes you kind of think about a fire, right? Wasn't there a fire back through there somewhere? Didn't a house or a trailer or some shit catch on fire? Yeah. Does anybody remember that? That's interesting, right? Fred negotiating for Dawn is in the TBI email. And I can't remember. I think it's the one Ziggy sent to the tip line, Kirst. I'll tell you where to find it. If it's out there, I'm gonna tell you where. If I say it and I can remember who said it, it's not hearsay. I'll tell you where it's at. Yeah, I mean, Fred was saying weird shit about that wiretap stuff anyway. You know, he was like, oh my God, somebody bled through while I was trying to record Dawn and they were laughing and shit like that. And I'm like, what the fuck were you doing that day? Like a Twilight Zone moment. For real. For real. Oh, a good example of Fred is when he told Ziggy the story about people letting monkeys go in the woods. Okay? Don't know if it's true or not. Don't care. Right? But then we find out that a dude that got busted in a holler actually had a couple monkeys. And one actually allegedly bit a law enforcement official when they went to arrest the guy. I've showed it on my channel. That's a good question, Debbie, because Fred knew he was in trouble, right? Fred knew that he was in trouble before Summer Wells went missing. He knew that he had already got caught selling to a couple of undercover law enforcement officials, right? Am I right? That's a great question, Debbie. Yeah, he did say a lot before Ziggy. Yeah. Did she stop going live? I don't know, you guys. Seriously, I don't watch any of them people. Any of them. Now, this is weird shit that Don said, right? He couldn't remember the last thing Summer said to him, which is funny because she was supposed to still be asleep. Okay, anyhow. Then I kind of got into the alleged last picture that Don had with Summer. But he remembered clearly saying, Summer, you need to go sleep in your own bed. He said she would come back with big old crocodile tears and say, but Daddy, I want to be with you. And he just couldn't say no. He said every night for 5 years she slept with him. Don, you were in Utah for quite a long time, right? You were allegedly going and spending a little weekend with some ladies and some substances, right? I don't know though. Okay. Now he basically said Candace would get shit-faced drunk at night, allegedly, and she would really have a temper the next morning. That's what Don said, right? So, gosh, let's think about that. let's think it, because I can't remember who said it. Could have been Allie talked about. Somebody talked about Candace and I guess having an eventful night, and the boys, one of the boys went to ask her something, and she kind of wasn't happy about it, I'll say. Um, so then you got to think about that too, right? But we know Summer was seen that day. So we can take that off the table. Not saying that there might have been attitude there. I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't there. Dawn said she had to be by me. She just had to be by me. She loved me to death. She loved me to death. Now, do people say that? Is that something that people say? Oh my gosh, she loved me to death. People do say that, okay? People do say that. I think when we looked at it after hearing Don Wells talk, finding out shit that he had done, I think we looked at that like, what a weird statement, right? What a weird statement. I cannot sit here and say that Don Wells made the comment, Summer was worth her weight in gold, to Marlena's dad. I'm not going to say that's not true. Who just, people just don't come up with that, right? That's something somebody wouldn't just, oh, let me think of that and I'll say that, right? Uh, allegedly from Marlena and maybe a couple other people. But the big question there is if those people were up at 110 Ben Hill Road and they seen the neglect that was supposedly happening and they seen the abuse of the kids that was allegedly happening and they know all of these things, why didn't they call CPS? But allegedly, hearsay, um, calling CPS on each other had become a game. Had become a game. And I'm not putting Jody Sue Brown in on that. Jody, we had a conversation. I hope that most of you heard it. It was really good. But kind of talked about that. Okay. So, Candace, see, it just goes on and on. Because you got to get in, I mean, if you really want to get into the story, Candace said that the kids didn't like to get up. And so Summer possibly could have been a little grumpy when Candace got her up that morning. She said that the kids would sleep till noon as she let them. That's a typical kid, though, right? Most kids don't want to get up out of bed early. Yeah, CPS was involved. Yeah, somebody called them. Somebody called him. But I also heard, and I have to say it's hearsay, that like with Allie and Candace, Allie was pissed at Candace. I mean, she called the cops on her. So possibly could have called CPS. Who knows? Who knows? So, it always interested me, and I think that Candace being this great mother was played out because she had not lost the boys yet. And Candace was at some point trying to do what she could to see the boys. And from my understanding, I have to say this is hearsay, that when she started working, she was paying. I don't know. I wasn't there. Well, I mean, I you know what, at the end of days, um, I I'm not I really am not gonna go over here. I just can't do that with Marlena and her daughter. Marlena coming out on social media only piqued everybody's interest about Marlena more, is all it did. And I don't know why that I don't know why, but why would they? Okay, um, that is a good. I mean, it's a good statement. I get it, but I don't think that's why CPS got involved. They would have took the kids a lot sooner. I don't think Candace was passed out. I don't think Candace was passed out that day. I truly believe she took Summer to the door and said, "Watch your sister." I, in my mind, don't even think that. I mean, Dawn kind of blamed it on the boys that, you know, they would come in without Summer, and Dawn would be like, "Where's your sister? Go get your sister." Anytime Summer was around the boys, I truly believe that they already knew that they were to watch their sister. Seriously. The boys said they seen her that day. I believe Lawson even said the boys said they seen her last on the jungle gym or the swing or whatever, going downstairs. Her scent ended at the road. At the road. Think about it. You got to think about who's put themselves at the end of that road. At that road. Oh. So grandma says, "Oh, yeah, Candace wanted to get me to get my knee checked because, they had went on vacay to Gatlinburg and allegedly the boys were kicking her in the knee." I'm like, damn, why were the boys kicking you in the knee, lady? For real. Uh, um, I don't know. Lawson said it ended at the end of the driveway, right? And then it was said that allegedly there wasn't even anything with a scent on it. I don't know. That's all weird. I guess that's something. I can't remember everything that's on the TBI website, but it says. I mean, they haven't added to it recently, but I wish they would. So, Candace is being the good daughter taking grandma to the hospital. Well, okay. So that shows Candace cares about her mom, right? Candace cares about her mom. But give me just a second, you guys. My son just walked in. Give me a second. I apologize. Okay. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, wait a minute. Shit, fire, man. The minute I hit this, it's going to take my notes away. What page is that on? Oh, I'm in between pages. Huh. That's weird. You guys want to know how many words I've actually wrote that I just have on my computer? 85,756 words. That's a lot of freaking words. Lord Jesus, take the wheel. Yeah, that's kind of weird, ain't it? Well, yeah, because Lawson said they lost the scent at the road. But then he said something weird, right? Something like, sometimes that happens. What's that fucking mean? Right? So Candace is a good daughter and needs to take grandma to the hospital so her leg don't get any more messed up because it was inflamed. Okay. So that's why she had to take grandma. Now, after we find out hearsay that, little blue things were being passed around up there, or oblong white things or whatever, then we questioned, okay, what was the real reason grandma got taken to the hospital? I don't know. I don't have a bad knee, never had a knee replacement. Don't know how it would feel if I had kids kicking me in my knee, right? We know Summer had clothes, but we can only go by what she was wearing the day she went missing. They did come home. Do you think, let me ask you this. Do you think a 5-year-old little girl who had a brand new outfit on that was for school, Candace put it on her, she's a little chilly after getting out of the water, do you think she would have left that on when they got home? Or do you think Candace would have said, change clothes? We don't know. We don't know, right? When Candace talked about doing laundry, whose clothes did she talk about? Whose clothes she talk about? The boys have got a crap load. She didn't say Summer's got a lot of clothes. Or all the kids. Crap load of clothes with a lot of kids, right? I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know what Summer had on. If Candace, I truly believe that Candace would stick probably the youngest boy's clothes on Summer all the time. But that's just me. They talk about Summer having no shoes on. How do we know Summer didn't have shoes on? How do we know that? Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you. It's all good. Them people's just made me feisty the last couple days, Tiffany Marie. I mean, they really have. I get so tired of that crap. You know, they want to do all this nonsense, and it's like, this is not helping Summer. It's really not. Bickering and, I mean, Jody said possibly barefoot. Well, and I don't know. Well, I think me and Jody talked about the footprint. I wonder where she heard that. That would be an interesting thing to ask her. Where she heard that. And there were a lot of law enforcement searchers, everything else in that area when Summer went missing. So I wonder, that's before anyone knew Jody's name. I wonder if someone didn't say that to her. She would have had to get that from somewhere. Well, this is the thing. This is the thing, Tiffany. Um, I could ask her and she could give me the answer, but that doesn't mean anybody's going to believe her, right? That doesn't mean anybody's going to believe what she says. And I think throughout Summer's case, and people can get mad at me or not, there's been a lot of BS and there's been a lot of lying. And there's been a lot of hearsay. Hearsay. A lot of people in the beginning of Summer's case were going by what locals were telling them, right? We all started going with a lot because of the locals, that individuals that didn't even live in that state somehow contacted and was getting the locals to do a lot of the bidding for them. So I think a lot of things throughout, even I think still even now, it's, you know, it's a lot of hearsay. Well, I think that that also that, and this is just my opinion, Tiffany, that you and Jody Sue, somewhere you guys butted heads, and I think there's so much animosity there that when she possibly talks to you and says something, it kind of becomes an argument. And that's just my opinion, okay? And I'm not saying that to be disrespectful or anything in any way. I think people who were having conversation about it, um, I think it, I think a lot of it has became, um, I want to be heard and um, not listened to. And I don't know if that makes any sense to you, because like when you guys argue back and forth, you're being heard, but we're not hearing it. Does that make sense? I don't know. Well, she's been heard by you, but she hasn't been heard by me, Tiffany. Right? Oh, I'm not saying you got to care about Jody's feelings. Shit. Well, that ain't got nothing to do with me. You guys can hate each other all you want. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I've I've stayed out of all that stuff. I have always stayed out of all of that. And I'm sure she don't care about your feelings either. But that's with you guys, and I understand you've asked her 1,000 questions 1,000 times, and but I've never talked to her. I hadn't talked to her. So everybody can run around all the time and fight about somebody lying, right? Girl, I ain't got no power over here. I ain't got no power over here, Tiffany. I sure don't. It's just sad the summer's gone and, even the answers, and I don't know. I don't know for sure. For sure. But I must say, it's not me to I'm not gonna sit up here and call her a liar. It's up to other people to say she's lying or not lying. I'm just here to have a conversation. Other people are gonna decide on that, right? You're absolutely right, Tiffany. You're absolutely right. Thank you for saying that. Let me pin that. Jody speaks as if Summer's alive. Marlena speaks of her as deceased. Sure do. Sure do. Jody doesn't have any information on the Wells because she states she didn't hang out with them, but she has info of that day. How she's been treated by YouTube since that day. Well, I mean, I think that a lot of things happen behind the scenes. There was a little bit of orchestration going on, if you know what I mean. Okay. Like I said, there were a lot of people that lived across the freaking world that were getting a hold of these, people from the area, live near the area, Kingsport, wherever, and getting them to go basically investigate. Some cases cause havoc. Wasn't me, I didn't go there. Not that I wouldn't love to own property there. It's beautiful. It's very beautiful. For sure. And I look, I got a big back pocket. There's stuff in my back pocket. We all have pieces of the puzzle that if we would put it together, maybe it would make some sense. But I don't want to get into the money aspect of it. I don't want to talk about the reward fund. I don't want to talk about whatever that has to do with the money made or where it went or anything like that. I keep that separate. Now, would I like to know that I think I don't want to call this person high level, but there's an individual that I'm going to talk about pretty soon that kind of orchestrated, some YouTubers and even local people to kind of run interference on YouTube. One of them I know, and then he sure was kind of running what was going on with some of the locals up on 110 Ben Hill Road. Is that right, Tim Mullins? Is that right, Tim Mullins? I don't know. I'm just asking. I don't know the guy. I ain't never talked to him. It is beautiful there, Debbie. Beautiful. Where did Jody say summer passed on a Saturday, Danny? Please let me know where I can find that. For real. But do I think that maybe somebody from the area who keeps coming out on YouTube and making their presence known, or maybe just came out on YouTube and making their presence known? Fred said Marlena was on the hill that day. That's what he said. Do we believe him or do we believe other people? Because, it was weird to me because out of the blue, I kind of got a little message that said Marlena wasn't on the hill that day. And I'm like, hearsay, put it in my back pocket. Hey, Rosie, how are you, darling? I hope you're okay. For real. So, I got a big ass back pocket. But I want to have real conversations. I do. I don't want to I don't want to fucking fight about the money or anything like that at all. But I've asked for that for 2 years now, and, freaking crazy people do crazy things. Okay. So, where was I? So, did Summer even want to get up that morning? Probably not. But Don said he left. If he left at between 7:30, 25 minutes for Candace to get there to the hospital. And isn't that just a nice little thing to throw in there that I went out to help my mom with her knee brace? Only took 2 minutes. Kind of weird, but they even had a walker up there. When Grandma Candace did her interview with WJHL, no, maybe it's a wheelchair. A wheelchair and a walker back there, right? Someone told her that. I don't know. I would have to ask her. I don't know. For sure. Okay, so you guys get that a little bit, right? Don drove the Subaru that day. What do we hear? Don never drives a Subaru, but he did that day. Why? Was he mad at Candace? What'd you get mad at Candace for? Because why would you have taken the Subaru when the whole reason you got it was allegedly so Candace could use it to go where she needed to go? Didn't you? You was paying a lot for that Subaru. Why did you decide that day that, I'm paying for it, it's just sitting there? Did you and Candace get an argument about that truck? Did you get her that truck for maybe dropping the restraining order that she placed on you with the Jose stuff? Were you like, girl, I love you. Thank you for dropping that. Let me get you a Subaru. Is that what you did, Dawn? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm just asking. So why'd you get mad at her and take Subaru that day? You said even your boss was like, why the fuck you driving a Subaru? Why are you driving a new car? Why are you putting these tools into a new vehicle? I think that's what you said. Look, that wasn't word for word verbatim, okay? All right. Lord, I've been on here over 2 hours. Over 2 hours. Oh yeah, that's what he said. He said Starlink was his friend. Which is weird, right? Man, he was throwing Candace under the bus left and right. He really was. People may not think that, but I seen it. I seen it. I even made that comment to somebody once. I was like, it seemed like Dawn's trying to throw Candace under the bus a lot. I'm just saying. That is all I'm saying. All right. Then we get into Hunter. Now look, I don't know Hunter. I don't. I ain't gonna say he's lying. Not me. I'm not gonna say that. But then again, I mean, and tell me I'm wrong. But when y'all look at Hunter, you see Andrew is what you see. Tell me I'm lying. Because the way Andrew acts. And we kind of, I don't know. You know, Andrew had talked to Hunter from the way he made it sound because he said something along the lines of when Hunter was talking to Chris McDonough that he told him, don't answer anything you don't want to answer. But was that another time, Andrew? Did he contact you? Why did you need Jeremy Dugan and his organization to go and try to get Hunter when you have put yourself having conversations with him around the time of the Chris McDonough interview? Inquiring minds want to know. I mean, whatever may not mean anything, but I don't know. Allie admitted that she did not go to the truck, I think, Mrs. Peacock. And I agree. There's a lot of them that were just out for themselves. And let me tell you, when you're working hard, Allie was a hard worker. I've never heard anyone speak unkindly really about Allie at all. She was a hard worker. She was trying to she was working on owning a home. That says a lot about somebody. She was working on owning a home. But after that happened with Summer, and you've got people coming up, I watched Molly Golightly take money and stick it into Allison's pocket. That spoke volumes to me. And it should have everybody else too. They came out on social media. The more money they made off of it, and the more channels they went on, the stories had to change a little bit. And sometime I'll have to go over the unmasked interview with Allie, and I'm glad I transcribed that because that's not around anymore. Not that I can find anyway. Allie says a lot of things differently, but I always go with that first interview. Always go with the first interview. A lot of things that people were saying were being said because then people were pissed off at each other. They were pissed off at each other. Okay. Because I can guarantee you, there wouldn't have been a story came out that Candace allegedly took Summer to Allie and them's where she had gotten into something she wasn't supposed to get into. Because they did nothing. They did nothing. If you ever hear that story, at the end of it, you will never hear, I called law enforcement. I called an ambulance. I took Summer from her and put her in my car and took her to the hospital. Anybody ever hear that at the end of that story? I don't know. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't there. For sure. But as far as the clothes, Hunter said Summer had a little shirt on and shorts. He even said what color they were. He even said what they looked like. Go back, listen to the interview. He'll tell you what Summer's little shirt was. Where'd those clothes go? But yet that morning, Candace just threw her in a bathing suit. And then they sat out in the hospital parking lot for 2 hours because Hunter's house was only what, 5 minutes from the hospital? I'll even give it 10 minutes. Hunter's house was close to the hospital. So 2 hours, Candace just sat there in the truck. She was just sitting in the truck. I don't know, though. I wasn't there. I wasn't there. Okay. Now, another weird thing. The text message from June 4th, 2021. It was almost the exact same as the communication on the 15th of June. Kind of weird, right? I don't know, though. Now, at some point, Allison said that Candace would keep trying to get a hold of her to talk to her. She wouldn't talk to her. Allison also said that she would go to Sherry's house, Allison's mother, to see the kids. Because what happened between her and Candace shouldn't be taken out on the kids. That's what she said. That's what she said. So she shows up over at Allie's. But Allie says, my grandma's coming and she don't like you. That changes a lot. I know Allie's grandma does not like Candace. She don't hide that fact. Okay? She's a little feisty thing. You should go back and listen to what she says. It's really interesting. Okay. So, then, so Candace goes and picks up Hunter. Hunter said she changed Summer into her swimming suit at his house, even describing the tank top. Candace said she was already in her swimsuit. Could she have been in her swimsuit with that over the top of it? But I don't know why. Why would she change that in Allie's house? Why would she do that in Allie's house if Summer had a swimsuit on when Where'd she change Summer into her school clothes? Why would she need to do that in the house? They didn't know they were going fishing or swimming at that moment. Oh, that's right. Wasn't there talk of going fishing? But then there wasn't no fishing rods in the car. I do. I think she was alive in that milk jug. And you can go over to, I believe it's Duty Ron, and he's got she's a forensic, I don't know, some kind of a forensic pathologist or whatever. And she's talking about Summer being on the milk jug. And it's very interesting. People ought to go watch it. I think whatever happened was when Candace said, keep an eye on Summer, and she left the hill. Grandma allegedly they gave her something for pain at the hospital, right? Could she have went in and laid down? Hey, Mom's in the camper asleep. That's what Grandma said, didn't she? I was asleep. Grandma said she took a nap, didn't she? Yeah, the bathroom. Well, that was the thing too, Curse, because it's like, I know that she said it was Tennessee warm, but I think it would have been a little chilly that morning around 8 o'clock, right? Do you see that, Debbie? Yeah, I saw that too. Oh my goodness. So, Candace is in the parking lot at the hospital. She done been there 2 hours. All of a sudden, Hunter calls her. Right? She goes to Hunter's between 10 and 10:30. They decide that they're going to go have a pleasant day. We know about going to the, what is it, smoke shop. She went somewhere else. She went to Walgreens. We know everything Hunter said. Right? How weird is it? How weird is it that Candace talks about getting vapes and stuff, and she got Skittles because she loves Skittles, and then there's Skittles in the back seat of the truck. Isn't that freaking weird? Wasn't that Skittles on the seat of the truck? Maybe while she was buying the Skittle vape, she got her some Skittle candy. Because Tennessee isn't weed legal as far as I know. And so, do they sell CBD that looks like Skittles candy? I don't know, because I don't buy that stuff. I don't know. I'm just asking, just a stupid question, I guess. Well, that was a weird thing too, because Candace said Grandma usually had the kids sit on a pillow if they were wet. She didn't like her seats being wet. In the video, Summer's not sitting on a pillow. She's in drier clothes, but Hunter would have still been wet, right? Hunter would have still been, you know. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they were probably CBD babes. They sell the pens in some store. Oh, they do? They got little Skittles CBD that looks like Skittles candy? And Summer's 5. If you gave her a piece of candy that didn't taste like candy, I'm sure she noticed it, right? But they were all over the back seat. They were all over the back seat. Took 15 minutes, drop it off, 30 to 35-minute wait. Decided they were going to take Summer swimming because they forgot the fishing poles. That basically Dawn said Grandma always keeps the fishing poles and that kind of stuff in her truck, and Candace keeps the clothes, extra clothes, in the Suburban. You guys remember that? You guys remember he said that? I do. We know about the twisted tea. I almost said tits tea. Know about that. Ain't nothing nobody can do about that, whether it's true or not. I'm sure it's true. Ain't no reason to hide it. But Candace on the WJHL interview makes sure to say there's all kinds of cans down there. There's all kinds of twisted tea cans down there. She was trying to use WJHL to tell people there's a lot of twisted tea cans down there, right? I'm like, you say that the place is a nasty, dirty place, but you took Summer there to swim. Weird, right? I always thought that was kind of weird. I'm like, if it's that messed up, don't freaking go down there. She said she liked to take the kids there because it was pretty private, is what she said. Hey, Nada. All right. Hang on. Hold on, whippersnapper. Okay. Is it your typical fishing hole? Beautiful, that trash water's filthy. Yeah, I wouldn't get in it either. Not at all. Didn't somebody go get in it, though? Did Dolly go get in that stuff? Was he messing around in there? Somebody was. I think a creator was. It was really weird. It was really weird. Hunter said it was normal kid conversation while they were in the truck. They dropped him off between 2 and 2:30. See, we're having to give like a half hour in here to I thought it was Dolly got in that stuff. Now when Listen to what I'm saying. The very first interview Allie did with Unmask, when asked about the timeline part, Allie said she couldn't speak of the timeline due to the investigation. That's what she told him. When there was discussion about the timeline, quote unquote, she said, I can't talk about the timeline due to the investigation. I would say that that was a good answer, but that quickly changed. That quickly changed. There was a few little things that changed that day, right? For sure. Allison talked about Ducktown, which was kind of weird. Oh, no, I'm sorry. A few months prior, an example was she wanted Allison to go to Duckstown. Allison said no. She wanted to sleep, hang out with my kids. I don't want to do anything with you. I'm just going to sleep. So we can hop into when they go home. All right, you guys, I've got about 23 minutes. Summer seemed rambunctious. That was a really long time. Yeah, that was a long time for her to sit in that parking lot, cursed. And it's weird that Candace gets to the hospital. The time she gets to the hospital, Dawn allegedly knows they're going. Summer has to be awake somewhere in there. And he goes to breakfast. Listen to what I'm saying. He goes to breakfast, and Summer doesn't get to eat all day. What'd the boys have for breakfast? So you're making sure that you go by and get you something to eat. Don't know if your kids have eaten that day. That's weird. I don't know, y'all. Yeah, they still planned on going to Ducktown. I completely agree, Cursed. I don't think none of that was premeditated at all. So, you know. Candace said they got home. She jumped right up, took her seatbelt off. She said they went and got the boys. They've been left there all day. No in, no out. Boys couldn't get in. Boys couldn't get out. Now, I'm sorry, but how do you know that, Candace? I don't think you locked them in the house, right? She said, I was only going to be gone a few minutes. She was gone for hours. She was gone hours. Yeah, Don did it. Yeah, you're right, Kirst. Don had every right to go eat breakfast before work. He absolutely did. But Candace sat in that parking lot for 2 hours and did what? What did she do for 2 hours? Don I guess my question with that is, it's not that Dawn got breakfast before work or whatever. I guess my kind of question is, did Dawn take Summer to breakfast? Did Dawn take Summer to breakfast? And it wouldn't be a big deal if he did. But that's little things, not saying it's true, but that's just little things that they could tell us that we wouldn't be looking bad at them. Right? Summer helped her put away groceries. Grandma's, they separated them. Candace and Summer and all of them put the groceries away. The boys kept watching TV. So at what point do we put Summer at actually missing? Only Candace would know. Only Candace would know. And some of the people that basically put themselves there. Yeah, I do too, Cursed. Somewhere between 3:30 and 4. 3:30 and 4. I think Fred seen Dawn the morning of the 14th, not the 15th. Yeah, they keep getting a day mixed up, don't they, Cursed? Well, I'm weird. I guess I put the timeline from the very morning that their asses got out of bed. Because I'm nosy. I want to know what they did all day. Now, you can ask me what I did all day. It would be very boring. You wouldn't want to know. For real. Getting ready to go fix me some lunch. Dawn never said anything about having breakfast with a coworker. Don's very first interviews, he doesn't mention having breakfast with a coworker at all. He only said that he was talking to some coworkers when he got the call from Candace at 5:30. But I kind of think at 5:30, this is just my opinion, they were already packing it up for the day. They were already packing it up for the day at that time. Now, maybe Candace didn't call Dawn right away when she went missing because she knew she wasn't on the hill when Summer went missing. Right? But he believes Candace. That if it did happen that way, did Candace do that intentionally? Who knows? Who knows? You don't know what happened to your daughter if you don't place yourself there when it happens to your daughter, right? That's what's been going around the whole time. She puts herself there, but she's in the house. Or she's at an angle where she can't see Summer swing. I just find it hard to believe that she disappeared so quickly with nobody hearing nothing or seeing anything. It's sad. Yeah, you would think, Curse, they've got all the cameras from that day. You would have thought somebody would have had Dawn on camera coming and going that day. Pruitt says Andy was there prior. That could mean anything. Right? And she also allegedly told that to Marlena, Cursed. Or do you think Cursed got that from... Oh, I'm sorry. Do you think Marlena got that from the news? Because she repeated that too, right, Cursed? That's pretty interesting, right? Didn't Marlena say she's been watching everybody? She's been keeping up with everybody following Summer's case? Right? Hmm. I don't know, Chris. Call him and ask him to verify what the fuck he's talking about. For real. He just said prior. Prior can mean anything. But also, prior means before Summer went missing. Right? When Candace allegedly talked to Allie, Allie said she was walking back and forth in the kitchen playing with her hat. Which probably meant she was pretty stressed if she kept playing with her hat. I'm just saying. But then again, we can't ask Allie anything. She's no longer with us. Rest in peace, Allie. Law enforcement knows the majority of the cameras on that hill. And I can guarantee you, with what was going on with some of the individuals in that area, they knew when law enforcement was coming. Okay. Who? Who's been in rehab? I don't know who's been in rehab. Because she was on FaceTime with her, Angie's life. She was on FaceTime with Candace. That's why she said that. She didn't say she was playing with her hat and I wasn't there. She was on FaceTime with her. Because if you guys remember right, she called Hunter. She called Hunter before she called Allie. Why would she do that? Why would she call Hunter? Hunter's the one who allegedly said, you need to call Allie. You need to call Allie. If it's true Summer's really missing, you need to call Allie. That's what he said. That is what the boy said. For sure. What do you do with that? Summer goes missing. What time did David Dotson actually receive the first call from Candace that Summer went missing? I don't know. I don't know if he said that back in that interview or not. I don't remember. That was always strange to me. Why are you calling that man? Right? Craziness. A big cast of characters in this story. Big cast of characters. This is a thing though, Cursed. Okay, so that would mean that Candace called David, and then David called Robin right away, and Robin answered for David, and then Candace clicked through. That's what Robin said. While Robin was talking to David, Candace clicked through. Robin said by the time she got there, they wouldn't let him go on the hill because they were taking the dogs up there. David Dotson had already been on the hill. He was on the hill prior, praying with the Wells. Same prayers. Right? Weird, right? But the thing is, I'm not sitting here saying David Dotson is guilty of anything. I'm not saying that Robin Lane is guilty of anything. It's just a weird scenario all the way around. It's all weird. But the fighting and stuff isn't, you know. And like I said earlier, there are so many people that, you know, have just started to argue and fight, and then, you know, animosity takes over, and, you know, there's no longer having conversations because everybody's said things about the other person. And of course, when you finally get to confront a person, it's, you know, it's going to be, you know, you did this to me, you did that to me. And I can understand that. I can totally understand that. Keep in mind, this in mind, what we know did happen. Now, do we believe in the meanwhile, a helicopter is looking for Summer and law enforcement is wiring up Fred because they think Dawn sold her? Because Fred, right? Fred said that after Summer went missing, that night is when they decided to wire Fred up to see what Dawn said. But listen to Fred's story. Remember, Fred was like, yeah, Dawn wanted me to be mediator when one of his substance dealers in, he says Knoxville, right? Now, Jody C's like, hey, y'all, we'll say Knoxville and not mean Knoxville. That's what she said, right? The way that they're saying that is going towards Knoxville, anywhere from here to Knoxville. Okay, you're headed to Knoxville. So Fred, you know, he's like, I can mediate that. Did you guys realize what he said he was trying to mediate? That Don didn't say that these people or whatever took Summer, but yet he's supposed to mediate where they don't come and take the boys, because after Summer being taken, Don was worried about the boys. Weird shit, right? Weird shit. They drove him up to get his statement. Phone dip, the works. Whatever, Fred. Whatever, Fred. I'm telling you, my opinion, Fred keeps making shit up just to keep Ziggy happy. I'm sorry, that's the way I feel about it. A lot of shit he's saying, he's trying to make himself look like this big fucking whatever. It's like, come on, Fred. You don't have to make yourself look big, okay? She married you. She loves you. Stop. There's people who are not paying attention to what I'm trying to point out. Zig believes Fred's. Yes. Yes, Curse, she does. But she loves him. She loves her man. You know, I would sing it, but my throat's kind of raw today. You know, Tammy Wynette kind of stuff. Let me say this, wee wow. And this isn't to say anything bad about anybody or, you know, say that what they know and pieces of the puzzle that they have, that they know, you know, aren't important. But I don't know. I don't know. I get frustrated. I get so frustrated with Summer's case, and every time somebody does something stupid, you know, I'm like, what the fuck? A lot of us let me tell you guys something, and this is true. You all can agree with me or not. A lot of us that have followed Summer Wells' case in the beginning, when we see, we can actually spot people who are coming out to grift. Okay, where it's like we've been through it so many times that it's like, okay, God, here we go, another grift. It's time for some more grifting. I mean, it is sad. People make their money however they make their money. But I'm surprised Marlena got turned on so quick. I am surprised she got turned on so quick. For real. That didn't last long at all, did it? I'm like, damn, girl, you only lasted a week and a half. That's a new record in the Summer Wells case. Lasts about a week and a half till everybody turned on her. But let me tell you, if somebody's going to say that about a woman and her child, you really should show receipts, because that's pretty fucked up to say. If it were to be true, I'm not going to say it's true. I don't fucking know. Then it can answer a few more questions about maybe what was transpiring on the hill, but I don't know. It is very heartbreaking. It really is. And so I want to end it on this note. I don't care who wants to go out there and say Remain Calm doesn't care about Summer. Because guess what? It's always been about Summer with me. Always been about Summer. I don't care who is bickering and fighting behind the scenes, and somebody else called somebody else a wanker sucker and they didn't like it, so verbally attacking. And there have been a lot of mistruths told in Summer's case. A lot of mistruths told in Summer's case. And I understand that, you know, some individuals have already talked to all these people. You guys have already talked to them. So, anything that's said on my channel, of course, you're going to come in and you're lying. You're not telling the truth. That's not what you said. And look, I'm not going to tell anybody there's anything wrong with calling somebody out if they have lied or whatever they've done. There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't like it to be yelling and screaming at each other. And if somebody's up here and they're talking their truth, I'm going to let them talk their truth. It's their truth. I would let anybody else come up and talk about their truth too. And there has been a lot of discrepancies. I mean, hell, Marlena came out the first night she came out, boom, boom, boom. But that's on Marlena. That ain't on Mary. That's on Marlena. So, hey, Moroccan Sniper. I would love to be in Morocco today, let me tell you. So, I don't know where Marlena's been. Don't have a clue where Marlena's been. But, I think it's kind of silly when people fight over people that they're talking to in that area. These girls will they will fight. They will scream, holler, and fight each other over getting the Sour Patch Kid. I'm just saying, you don't want to be a Sour Patch Kid. For real. I'm just saying, you guys can take that with whatever you want. But Crystal, I'm fine with you. I don't care what you do. If you got any questions, email me and ask me, girl. I'm not going to fight with you over nothing. Shit, you've talked to more people in Summer's case than I can count on fucking 3 fingers. For real. Don't do that shit with me, girl. You figure it out. Ain't my place to figure out that shit. I ain't going to. And girl, I don't care who you're suing or who's suing you. Ain't got shit to do with me. Ain't even looked at why you guys were suing each other to start with. I don't care. I don't care. For real. Ain't got shit to do with Summer. Y'all just running around accusing each other. But you do you, girl. You do you, for real. For real. Yep. H is getting his 2nd degree. Okay, you guys, I might come live for maybe an hour tonight because I want to show Bullhorn Betty what the news showed about her being in court. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that too. Fred said he's going to wait and hear what Marlena says first. Oh, you don't want to intimidate her. Oh my gosh, are you fucking kidding? Oh Lord, my ass is getting numb. Thanks, Curse, for coming in. Thank you, H. Davis. Poppy, adore you. Debbie, thank you. I'm getting my ass off here. Every time I talk about Summer, I'm on here too long. But we'll have another conversation about her. I mean, we can talk about everybody's inconsistencies all day long. I just wish there was more conversations instead of the animosity and the fighting and You know, like I said, I'm not here to call anybody a liar about what they say. I don't know, for real. Yep, too long, Debbie. I'm getting off here right now. All right, tonight I'll pop on just for a little bit because I want to talk about Bullhorn Betty and what happened in court. Oh, wow, that's wild. Please remember summer, you guys. Please make it about summer. I don't know what else to say. I can get crappy, I can scream, yell, holler, be pissed off or whatever. You know, it ain't gonna do no good. People are gonna be people. And that's about all I can say. Peace out, everybody. Have a good one. Thank you for the conversation, for real. And thank you, Tiffany Marie. Yeah, I was just feisty. I was in a mood, girl. Don't take it personal, for real. I apologize if I got nasty with you. Okay. All right. Peace out, everybody.